I mean, the budget cuts were tough.
Yeah.
The budget cuts really shifted the focus of the institution away from what we had discussed during the job interview process in January, relative to what were the expectations once I arrived. At least from my own perspectives, they were different. I thought I was hired to be more of a research economist, where I was actually taking students in, training them to do research, taking them to conference to present their research. But yeah, somewhere along the way, there became an emphasis on revenue generation. And someone who's not necessarily a business economist, but someone who's much more of a social scientist, I have several moral dilemmas with that process. On the other hand, being the entrepreneur, I have a bigger problem with it. Because if I wanted to generate revenues, I'd be doing that for myself. I'm not going to do that through an occupation to pay my salary. So that for me it was really a difficult decision, actually.
Yeah.
But again, having that difference between my skill set and what my employer was seeking, I just told them I wouldn't do it anymore. The Bureau specifically, I mean, I told them I would no longer be their chief economist. And so I knew the consequences of that. I mean, I knew the ramifications. I mean, it was very clear to me that I was hired to do both. And if I didn't do the Bureau, then my other position would be terminated. And so, yeah, I mean, I jumped into that knowing the consequences.
And that's what happened then?
Yeah, it set off. I mean, so I mean, it definitely sends off a series of meetings that are no longer really in my control, and I just have to be present.
So what allowed you to take, I know this is something I've been studying a lot lately about entrepreneurs and what helps them leave, because that's a tough decision to leave. Like, you get the steady paycheck, you've got a family, but you have this pull to do something entrepreneurial for yourself. But it's hard to leave that, it's hard to, a lot of people have a hard time making that leap. What do you think it was for you? Was there a moment where you're like, you know what, screw it, I'm doing this? Or do you feel like it was more like a slow burn and you sort of just let it happen? Or how would you explain that?
It was really two parts. So my wife, Kara Adams, she's an entrepreneur herself.
Yeah, I should point out that's how you and I became connected, is because I met her and did a story on her new business. Not that new anymore, I guess. It's been a few years, huh?
It has.
But she got Agora. Did I pronounce that right? Agora.
I think it's Agora.
Agora, yeah, Agora Marketplace, which is in Stevens Point, sells exclusively Wisconsin-made good. Is that accurate description?
As close as you can get, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Some random things or not, but yeah, pretty much everything has a local maker. You can track it down to the person.
That's super cool. Yeah. And so then she mentioned you, and I was like, oh, I could always use another good economics source, especially since, as you mentioned, Randy Cray was or had been close to retiring at that point. Maybe he had already. He's always someone I could call up and be like, hey, dude, what's up with this? And we'd always have a good talk. So I appreciated you coming on the scene and having that person, as a sort of a replacement that I can still get that info from. But that's how we became connected. So I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, what were we talking? Oh, about my wife. Yeah. So she was starting that business. So that I was jealous. I was very jealous of her, honestly, passionately jealous of the fact that she was being entrepreneurial and I was stuck in an academic job. Couple that with the two kids. So, I mean, the Bureau and the assistant professor with the research, I was working 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. I had two kids.
Yeah.
One was under 2. The other was, what was that? 5. I didn't like the life I was living anymore. And so those two combined, I jumped for a stay-at-home dad. I was purely a stay-at-home dad for 6 months. I thought it would be a lot more work than it was. Don't get me wrong. I just had someone who was a great infant who slept pretty much all day. And so I found myself bored. I had a lot of free time, looking for a hobby. We were eating $20 worth of mushrooms a week. And I was like, hey, I can grow mushrooms. Made a drunk purchase on Amazon one night. Seeds, which was a complete disaster. Don't buy Amazon mushroom seeds. Mushrooms don't grow from seeds. So I quit.
Mhm.
I mean, those things grow. They were portobello mushrooms. They grow on manure. I was foraging chicken poop, microwaving it to sanitize. I was doing really dumb things. So I threw all that out, and I used my academic background to actually do legitimate academic research into ways people grow mushrooms. And I stumbled across wood-loving mushrooms, which is exclusively what we grow now. We're in central Wisconsin, furniture company, so there's a lot of sawdust that's locally sourced.
Oh, there you go.
And so, yeah, we grow a lot of wood-loving mushrooms. It started with oysters, and then we've kind of expanded from there.
And when
Yeah,
did you?
it was pure luck.
Yeah, when did you